Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. For over 6 years, we've been sharing with you what you need to know, want to know, should know about real estate, finance, your community, and so much more. And we're always in the know every week because we've been doing this for over 6 years with the best of the best, and we're very excited. We have one of the very best real estate professionals in, I think, the nation, and definitely out here in Santa Cruz, Mr. Neal Weichel with RE/MAX. Thank you for joining us again, buddy.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Okay, and we'd love you to join our studio. You can actually enter the Vault Media studio, and the only way you can get in is by going to donandgino.com, DONANDGINO.com. Click on the live streaming button, and voila, you enter the studio and go, let's see who this Neal guy is. Why is he so popular? Why is he so cool? Why is he number one?
Well, I know a lot of reasons he's number one, but I know what you're getting at is you're not going to let him off today without talking about UCLA.
I know
you're not.
See, we wanted to have some fun today because, you know, to really be number one or really good at something, I'm sorry, you have to be liked. You have to be a likable person. You have to care. You have to have integrity. You have to have honesty, all those things, especially in our community. This is a very small community, and if you aren't accountable, you won't survive. I'm sorry. You have a reputation that you have to uphold, and you have to be respectful. You have to love the community. You have to be part of the community, and you do give back to the community a lot. You're one of the few, and I wish more of the real estate community would do it. You do it all the time. But I thought we'd have a little fun and get to know Neal a little bit because you don't just sell real estate. I know you do most of the time, but I know, for one, Gino and I are very excited. I know you're a UCLA fan, obviously, big time.
Yeah, I'm passionate about a lot of stuff. But this is going to be really awkward for me if you want to have this
I know it is. That's why we thought we'd pull it out of you, because I know we talk real estate. You snap off the top of your head with real estate all day long.
Yeah.
But talking about yourself is not your
problem. No, I'm not going to talk about myself. But I mean, here's what I would say, I suppose, for the real estate people, because I get called by a lot of real estate people, right? Gosh, how did you do it? Can I come sit in your office? Can I watch you work? And all these things. And I think at the end of the day, if truth be told, I love to have fun, and I love to laugh with my clients, but I take what I do very seriously, and sometimes maybe too seriously. So that's why everybody thinks, oh my God, he's got no personality, or whatever they think. I don't know quite exactly what they think.
Well, you're very structured. You have a plan. I watch you. You're like very well structured in your day. You make sure you're as efficient as possible.
I remember one time about 4 years ago when you came on and you were like, okay, guys, I got about 12 minutes left. Not 10, not 15, not 20. It was 12. So that's discipline.
Yeah, and well, that's the way I've always been, and it just because there's so many things I have to do. If you're going to take on a lot of clients, and I'll tell you what my biggest, I guess, the thing that bothers me the most is when people say, I know how busy you are. Because what they're really saying is they're saying, I think you're too busy to help me. And I'm never, and I mean ever, too busy to help somebody that calls me. I spent 35 minutes on the phone before I came over here with a guy who's for sale by owner. He's got a terrific property, and he's trying to sell it himself, and he's got involved with a bad lender and he sold it himself, easily could have done it, very saleable property. 35 minutes. Now, I can promise you, the chances of me ever having a contract with this guy or getting paid for my time or whatever are very, very low, because he really doesn't need me. He's got a stream of buyers ready to go. So I told him, you send me what you have, I'll look at it free of charge and help you. Now, if you want to know anything about me, I've been doing that since the first day I started in real estate. Okay? There's many people I've helped along the way and gladly did so without any regard for whether it was going to translate into a listing or a sale or a commission check. Now, why? Because when you put out the right stuff, when you help people, it always comes back. I mean, that's just an irrefutable law of business.
Right.
And so
law of the universe.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're biblically so inclined, you can read it. I mean, it goes all the way back to the Bible, and it's true. So when we talk about, how do you sell all this and how are you so disciplined and all this? There's so many people that want to talk about real estate. There's so many people that need guidance and assistance and help. And sometimes I'm going to list their home. Sometimes I'm going to help them buy a home. Sometimes I'm just going to simply talk to them for 2, 5, 10, 20, 35 minutes and give them what I would consider to be good advice. Now, that's who I am. But that doesn't mean that I don't like to go out and have fun and do things. Yeah, I'm passionate about a lot of stuff. I'm a music nutball,
I
as
know you
anybody-
like the Bruce.
I go, I travel to see Bruce Springsteen or U2, or whatever. I do that. I love Coldplay. I love to just go out and just really have a great time for a few hours. So music I'm passionate about. Sports I'm really passionate about. I'm not quite as crazy as I used to be. But, I went to UCLA, so, I'm a season ticket
Bruins.
holder. Go Bruins. I donate, to the school where I can. And, there's a lot of stuff that I'm passionate about. I've got 3 great kids. I've got a terrific wife, of 30 years this year.
Congratulations.
And, yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. So, well, she puts up with me.
That's all we can ask, right?
Now,
I feel the same way about mine.
yeah, and that's it. So, she knows that I'm going to get up at 4:30 every morning. She knows that I'm going to be, making calls and doing emails, and that's okay.
Wait a minute. Let's go take a poll of how many real estate agents wake up at 4:30 in the morning. One hand?
Yeah.
One hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably others, but that's when I get a lot of work done, right? So, I mean, I know after 25 years, I know when to be highly efficient. I know when I don't have to be super intense and super focused on, 12 minutes left with Don and Gino. And I know when there's times where I do. And basically, it's in the morning, and in the afternoon, I leave open.
You just hit on a really good point. When I had all my weight loss, I lost over 100 pounds, and now I'm more normal. I'm not crazy anymore. But when I did that, people said, what changed? How come this time you were successful? And I said, because I did it at 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's when nobody wants me. My employees don't want me. My wife doesn't want me. My kids don't want me. There is no incoming anything at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's me time.
Sure.
And so there's value to that early riser.
It's when your energy is highest. It's when your mind is clearest. It's when nobody is getting in the way. So you can really, you can go through all those emails and make sure they were properly answered. You can set up your days. I started this when I was in college. I have a 3x5 card. It does not matter what day of the week, including Sunday, which I take off. I'm going to have written down what I need to do that day, and I'm going to refer to it throughout the day to make sure. So to anybody listening, I'm never too busy. Okay, there's no such thing.
I love that.
I'm just not.
That's great.
And there's plenty of hours in the day where I'll go back to things and try to make sure that the client got every bit of information or every bit of an update, or just check in. Hey, are we okay? Are we okay with the showings? No, you're still hanging in there with me, right? I know it's taken a little longer than we hope to sell your home, but are you? Yeah, Neil, I'm okay. Okay. Sometimes that's all a client needs to hear, is just that you care, right? So if you care, and if you're disciplined, and if you're scheduled, you'll be terrifically successful in this business.
Yeah, and you just touched on something else, which is communication, right? Sometimes absence of communication or silence makes people uneasy. So,
and I'll tell you we're going to talk a little bit about how the internet has changed real estate.
Yes,
I know,
we are.
and we need to. But here's what's also changed, and it's a shame. It really is a shame. Is the greatest communication that we can have is looking at each other talking. Yeah. And today's generation, and by today's generation, I really mean anybody under 40. They don't want to talk. Okay, they'd rather text and they'd rather email, and that's okay. Texting and emailing is a terrific tool to use. But at the end of the day, people want to know that you care. And if you want to show somebody you care, pick up the phone and call them. Don't send them a text. Ooh, it looks like they're not going to write an offer on your home. Okay? Do you want to get bad news that way? I want to know that my agent cares enough to call me and say, hey, don't worry, we're still on the right track. It wasn't this buyer, but it'll be the next one. Okay? That's service, and that's communication. And these days, I'm telling you, you guys see it, right? Nobody wants to talk. They want to text and they want to email. And again, those are good tools. And hey, I'll be there at 3 o'clock. Fine to text that.
right.
I've got something important to tell you. I don't recommend texting your clients to tell them that. I recommend picking up the phone, even if they just get a voicemail that says.
Well, like our team has a rule that if there's anything that's sensitive in any way, shape, or form for either our clients or our real estate partners or anybody we're working with, is that you have to pick up the phone.
Good.
Because
That's a good policy.
Well, the reason being is the email or text can be interpreted certain ways.
That's true.
I mean, you
you
might
talk about
not
this all
mean
the time, Don.
it's yeah.
Yeah, you talk about the
All the time.
intonation that you're using and the way you deliver the message. It's how people receive it, besides letting them make up their own mind. Because we've all seen it, right? You send an email and they call back and say, oh, why is that happening? You're like, well, it was just meant to give you a quick update. It wasn't a big deal, So,
well, communication, and this is a statistical fact, 90% of all communication is non-verbal, okay?
Right.
It's
Yep.
the way that we use our hands and the way that our body language is, and of course the voice inflection that we use. So that's what communication is. It isn't just the words on the text. That's why people get so confused all the time. And so when I'm talking to somebody, there's never a time where I'm more powerful at being able to make something happen that I want to have happen for my clients than if I'm actually asking questions, speaking, listening, responding. I mean, that's communication. Okay. So
especially that listening part.
Yeah, well,
salespeople have a hard time with that sometimes.
it's the most important part of selling.
It is. All right. When we come back, again, we're here on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show with NEAL WEICHEL, #1 real estate agent in Santa Cruz for years and years and years for a reason. And we come back, I cannot wait for these next couple of segments because these are imperative. One, Neil's going to help clarify why he's so successful in helping his sellers set up proper expectations and therefore success, as well as, did you realize that the internet is absolutely completely changing real estate forever? And Neil's going to fine-tune what that means to you so you're properly prepared when we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your hometown station AM 1220 KHS. Check us out at donandgino.com. We'll be right back.